Going on, y'all? We have another big week coming up, and I want to let you guys know what I'm watching. So first things first, we take a look at the earnings schedule, earnings calendar, and as you can see, we have a lot of large cap names announcing earnings. We have Microsoft after the close on Tuesday, pre-market Wednesday. We have Boeing, then after hours Wednesday we have Tesla, we have American Airlines on Thursday, and a bunch of other names: Intel, Visa, Chevron, American Express, Johnson & Johnson, Lockheed Martin, Halliburton, Verizon, a ton of names. You can screenshot this, or you can go to Earnings Whispers on Twitter, and they post it every single weekend. And without further ado, let's get started. And let's start first with SPY. This is S&P 500 ETF, and as you can see, we have this long-term trend line right here, and we have this long-term trend line right here. I would actually put it right here, 3 data points. So we have a macro bull flag. This is on the weekly chart. So these are the COVID lows, and we just ripped ever since that big bounce, and now we're kind of consolidating in this downward channel. However, it looks like we're starting to pick up some steam. We bounced right here, and then we bounced right here. So technically, this is a higher low. So all we need now is a higher high. So if we can break above this area, we'll technically be in an uptrend, because you need more than 2 higher lows and more than 2 higher highs. So we have one here and one here. And if we can create a higher high, so break out, create a new high, then we'll be creating an uptrend. So technically we're still in a downtrend, but if we can break above this 410 area, 412, we'll be in an uptrend again. So let me clear these lines, and let's take a look at the daily chart on SPY. So personally, I think we still have a little bit of downside to go, but that's my bias. If we're going to look at the chart, it's actually starting to look pretty good for a continuation to the upside. So if we look on the shorter time frame, we have this symmetrical triangle, and this earnings season this week and next week with I think Apple is next week, and I believe Google and Amazon, I believe maybe it's the week after. But we have a very large slate of earnings this week and in the coming weeks. So those earnings and the guidance by these companies will kind of dictate where we go in the next quarter in terms of the stock market. So right here, we see that on Friday, we had a nice bullish day. We didn't close above the open of the week, but we did have a bullish day. Volume kind of slightly picked up on the last 3 days of the week. It was pretty low previous 2 days, as you can see right here. So we have an increase in volume and a bounce. So that's good. We're respecting this trend line right here. And if we go take a look at the 4-hour chart, is where I pretty much find all my levels. I'll zoom in to about the last 3 months of the 4-hour chart. And I'll use this horizontal tool to draw levels, support, resistance, supply, demand. And what I'm trying to look for is what I call the sharp reversals. So you see like a sharp reversal here, here, reversals here, reversals here. You'll see them all right there, all right there. So these are areas of supply and demand, right? So let me clear that again. So I will get a horizontal drawing tool, and I'll just put lines where I see strong supply and demand. We have some right around, yeah. So we rejected here, we rejected here, here, we bounced here, we rejected here a couple times. So on the bottom side, we bounced here, we bounced here, we bounced here, 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 and rejected there, bounced here a couple times, and then we broke above it. So this area is demand, that 393, 393.5 area. That's a bounce zone. So if we get there, I would personally be thinking of potentially playing a bounce right there. And on the flip side, if we get here, I'll be considering, I'll expect it to kind of reject this 400 level this next time it touches it. Maybe it'll be a soft rejection, and then we can break out. But right now, we're just in the middle of that area. What I'm looking at now is this short-term area. Maybe we're going to reject it, come back down here to 393 and bounce for a move back up to that 396, 397 area. But I am kind of noticing that we're starting to create a potential bull flag right here, a descending channel, but after an uptrend, it's bull flag. It was kind of creating a little falling wedge, but we broke right through that. So what I'm expecting this week, is if we can break above 397, then I fully expect to move to 400. But if we can't break above and hold 397, then I expect to move back down to at least 393. And if we can't hold 393, then 390 shortly after, and that's going to be the big level, 390. If we can't hold 390, then the next area is this 387 area. So 393 to 387, that's a $6 move. That would be a pretty significant move in the market. Now let's go to QQQ. We'll go to the weekly chart on QQQ as well. And as you can see here, we made a slightly higher low than here. So a low right here, a higher low here. We still haven't made a higher high. So this is the previous high. We need to break above that area. Break above pretty much, that area. So this area is going to be pretty important, that 297 area. We bounced at 297. We send that to the left. It was supply here, turned to demand here, and now it's acting as supply. So there's also a longer term trend line here with 3 touches. We bounced here, the 2020 lows, then we bounced here again. And a couple weeks ago, we bounced again. And same trend line as SPY. 1 rejection, 2, 3, 4 rejections. So if we can get above this area and clear this 297, we would need to clear 300, of course, the psychological level. But if we can get above 300, then I think we have a move maybe to like 314, 315. And that would be nice, at least to 312. If we can break 300, I think we at least see 311, 312. So now let's take a look at the daily chart. Nice little consolidatory week we had. So it was a short week. It was a 4-day week. So we opened this day choppy, had 2 big red days, and then on Friday we almost reclaimed the entire weekly candle. So if we would have closed just a couple bucks higher, then the week would have been a green week. So what I'm wanting to see is if we come back to this area, let's go on the 4-hour chart and it'll make a little more sense. If we come back down to this area, I'll want us to hold that 280 area because we bounced there one time, 2 times, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. We got above there. Excuse me, I kind of had a little cold. But we got above there this week and came right back down, came right through it again. But we need to, if we can retest it and then hold it, that'll be pretty bullish and give us some ammo to break last week's high and ultimately get to 285, 290, 295, 300. But let's see. Yeah, so if we do come down to this 279, 280 area, I will be considering taking a bounce opportunity there. And some stocks that I'm watching this week. So let me pull this back up. I have it pulled up right here. All right. There are about 15 names that I'm watching, but I'm going to pick the ones that I like as the highest probability setups. So the first one I like is SQ. So if you take a look at the weekly chart on SQ, it doesn't really do it justice. Let's take a look at the daily chart so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so take a look at this. We'll change this line to a purple line so it stands out amongst the rest. We had, and let's extend it to the left. So this area, we rejected it right here. We broke out strongly. We broke down strongly. We rejected again. We rejected right below it. We rejected right below it here, and we're approaching that area again. So I am going to undo this, and we will make it 4-hour chart. So what I'm watching on SQ this week, in anticipation of the breakout of this level, in anticipation of this breakout, hold on, let me zoom in just a little more. In anticipation of this breakout, I would like to see if SQ wants to bounce in this general 75, 75.5 area. If SQ can kind of get to this area right here and flag like this pretty much, if it can get to this area like this and hold, I will want to take a weekly opportunity for a move to the 80 strike price. 80, I mean, that would be, $4 or $5 out of the money. especially when we're bouncing 75, 76. That would be $4 to $5 out of the money, but it would be worth the reward. You'd have a relatively tight stop loss. Excuse me. You'd have a relatively tight stop loss if we can't hold above 75. Then you would cut it, because if you can't hold 75, there's room all the way down to 72.5. But if we can hold 75, there's room all the way to 80. So you could go this upcoming Friday expiration, which would be the 30th, or you could go February, first week of February expiration. But personally, I like this Friday, and first strike price of 80. And if you don't want to go too far out of the money, you could also go with the 78 calls, with the 77s or 76s. So SQ is one that I'm really watching for this week. Another one that I like is Nvidia. So if we take a look at the weekly on Nvidia, this is one that has an inverted head and shoulders, which is a bullish pattern. So as you can tell, a head and shoulders, think of it like this. This is my head, and then my shoulders are right here, and they're lower, right? Well, this is an inverted head and shoulders. So if you flip me upside down, this would be my head, and this would be my, technically my right shoulder. This would be my left shoulder. But for the sake of this, let's just call this the right shoulder. And then you would have the neckline, which would be pretty much right around here. And so once we break this neckline, usually you get a very strong move through that neckline area. But obviously we're nowhere near there right now. So I want to play the anticipation of that move. If that's the trade, the kind of the foundation behind the trade. So if we can go to the 4-hour chart, again, you can see right shoulder, head right here, and then left shoulder. On the shorter time frame, it's kind of doing a similar thing. Head, and then this would be the left shoulder. I mean, if we were to come back down here, I would fully expect us to bounce. That's neither here nor there. So we did close above the weekly high. So we closed at the high of the week, which is a really good sign. So I would like to see if Nvidia wants to pull back into this 177 area for potential bounce. So if we pull back here and start to hold 177, I will want to take it to the upside. Maybe get the 180 calls, not too far out of the money, because it could get right up to this area, right? It could get up to this area right here and reject, and that's around 181, 182. So you can go with the 180 calls if it bounces a 178. So that's $2 out of the money, and I think it would be a good opportunity. And you would stop I would have a stop loss right below. If we're playing the 177, 178 bounce, I would have a stop loss right below 176. And the reward would be 182, and then the next profit target would be around 188. So I really like the opportunity on Nvidia. Another one that I like is Shop. So if you take a look at the weekly chart, Shop is starting to really consolidate down here. There's a left shoulder here, head, right shoulder here, and the neckline would be this $45, $46 area. And again, we're not anywhere near there right now. We're about $6, $7 below it. But if we take a look at the 4-hour chart, let me zoom in a little bit. You can see we rejected this bottom green line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. So if we can get above it, we would have a move at least to, I would say, right around here. And so now let's zoom into the hourly chart. If we can get above this 41 area with strength, then I believe we have a room to 42.5. So $1.50 to the upside. It doesn't sound like much, but that's about 3.5%, 4% in the underlying stock price. So if the stock moves 3.5% to 4%, the options would move significantly more. They've moved well over 100%, depending on the day. But if it happens on a Friday, that entire move, then they'd move several 100%. If it happens on a Monday, the move wouldn't be as big. But I would be interested in strength above 41. So if we can break this 41 level with strength and start to hold it, then I do see us making a move to around 42.5. And that's Shopify. And then the last name I'll go over, let's see. Let's pick Disney. Some other names that I like is BBY, Baidu, Dollar General, DBN, Devon Energy Group, GE, IWM. Actually, yeah, let's go over IWM, then we'll do Disney. IWM has a cup and handle. Let's go look at the weekly. This is the small cap ETF. It's like SPY for the S&P 500, but IWM is the ETF for the small cap stocks, the Russell 2000. All right. So this one has a higher low, and it's about to make a higher high. So if we take a look at the daily chart, we have some supply right here, hard supply. Now, this is a little cup, and then this is a little handle. It's not clean, but you can see it a little better right here. So we made a nice little cup all the way to the high, and now we're forming the little handle. If we can get some strength above 186 right here, if we can get above 186 and hold it, then I think we have room to 189. Again, that's a $3 move, not a significant move, but that's a good move nonetheless, almost a 2% move. In IWM, the options are always very liquid. You won't have trouble getting filled. The spreads are always relatively tight, never more than, I've never seen them wider than, a $3 to $5 spread. Oh, sorry, yeah. So like if you're buying the contracts at $100, the bid might be at 98, the ask might be at 102, 103, but that's the widest spread I've ever seen. So I guess that would be a 3 to 5 cent spread, not a $3 to $5 spread if you're looking at it like in the decimals. Anyways, you guys see what I'm saying? The spreads are relatively tight. It's like trading SPY. It's like trading QQQ in terms of volume and liquidity. So if we can get this move above 186, then small caps will make a really strong move. One of the ones that I'm watching is SQ. I wouldn't consider that really a small cap stock, but it is one of the smaller of the large companies. We went over SQ at the beginning. But yeah, IWM, if we can get above this 186 level, I think we have room to 189 or 190. And then lastly, let's go over to Disney. On the weekly chart. So Disney broke out of this weekly area. I must have charted it on TradingView because this is not updated, but we'll do it together. So the following wedge, we broke out and we got continuation. We came back, retested this 97 area and bounced. So let's take a look at it on the daily chart. All right. This, we'll need the 4-hour chart next. Oh, wow. Very clean level right here. Very clean level. Look at that. We rejected 101.7, 102 area very strongly. So between, let's say 101.5, 102 bounce. So if it were to come down right here, I would be interested in getting some calls for the reversal. It would be a similar move like this. We rejected really hard here. We bounced here. We bounced here a few times. So it came back up here. You take the reversal, right? Or you got calls right here at 96.5 and you got it all the way up to 99. So this time, if it gets down to 101.7, 101.5-ish, 102-ish, I will want to play a bounce for a move right back up to at least 102, 103. So if we can bounce 102, I would want at least to move back to 103. And hopefully it breaks highs above 103.5 and continues to the upside. Let's see what the upside would be. Yeah, if it could get back up to 103, the next area would be around 104. Yeah, 103 would be the first profit target. 104 would be the next profit target. If it can't hold 101.4, that would be my stop loss. I would say, yeah, 101.2, 101.3. That would be my stop loss right there. All right. One last one, I'll just keep going since I love doing this. MPC, Marathon Petroleum. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. As you guys can tell, it is trading near all-time highs. So if we take a look at the daily chart, we'll draw a horizontal line at the all-time high target. Now let's take a look. Let me just draw a line right there as well. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart, see if those lines coincide with any levels. Okay. So, what I would like for it to happen is, so we made highs right here, and then we consolidated. Hold on, let me use a different drawing tool. And then we consolidated right here and then made a very strong move up. We made a 5.5% move, right? From this breakout right here to here, that was a 5.5% move. So now what I would like to happen is a similar type consolidation. We consolidated right here and then came back down. It never actually broke out. Now, if we can come right here and then consolidate like this and create some type of resistance area, create a little falling wedge, bull flag pattern, and then start breaking out, I will want to try to catch this move into this move. And if it so happens that we get there and continue to the upside, that would just icing cherry on the cake, cherry on top. But this one is one that I'm watching. And yeah, you can take a look at XLE, the energy sector ETF, on the weekly chart, and you can tell this one's also near all-time highs. So, well, maybe not all-time highs, but it is near recent highs. All-time highs are right here. Yeah, I guess it's close enough. It's about $12 away. But it's holding up really nicely right here. It's creating somewhat of an ascending triangle, which is bullish. It's kind of consolidating in a nice little flag pattern. So yeah, if XLE can push, MPC would have a good time. Let's take a look at XOM. Let's see where that one's at. Yeah, this is another one that's near recent highs, not all-time highs. So all-time highs are at 117. So yeah, we're like $4 away from that. So yeah, we could take this one as well. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. This is the daily chart. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Yeah, I mean, XOM is another one that looks really good for a potential break above all-time highs. It's creating a nice little cup action and then a little handle pattern kind of right here. So could break out as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do and you want me to make more on YouTube, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and definitely subscribe, and I'll create more. All right, you guys, y'all have a great one, and good luck this week. Talk to you later. Bye.